All right, it says we are live. Now let me start Instagram. All right, Instagram is live also. Let's put on a countdown. All right, test. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. The
All right,
craziest thing, the countdown, super loud.
that's
I had to
crazy.
turn my volume down for the countdown.
God, I wonder why. I'm gonna have to.
It's
I'll have to get.
wild. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to Amazon a mic or something. Something here. Let me see here. Let's go to comments. All right, it says we're live on everything. Let's see here. Yep, showing live. All right, it worked. So cool. All right, before we get into it, then we'll go ahead and I guess welcome everybody to Truck Scene Podcast, the first episode. So I'm surprised we actually got all this stuff to work, but we're here to talk about the truck scene and everything in it. Obviously, I'll be your host, Eric, and I guess if you're whether you're a diehard truck enthusiast or just want to explore the scene, this is definitely going to be the place for you. We're going to discuss customizations. We're going to hear insider stories from all the people who helped shape the scene, like Braxton here, and talk about the best truck shows and brands driving the innovation of the scene. We've got it all covered here. So each episode, we will bring you an exclusive interview with legends of the truck scene, like Braxton himself here, discuss the latest in truck builds, and keep you guys up to date with all the best shows that are coming up this year. If you guys like what you hear, make sure you tune in live to our podcast. Stay connected by following us on social media. You can see right up there, Rolling Reckless in the top. Mine's right there in the right above me, and then we'll get Braxton's here in a minute. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe and follow button so you guys don't miss an episode. And then today's episode is also going to be sponsored by Rolling Reckless. It's an apparel brand for truck lifestyles. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out that website, grab you guys some merch, and go ahead and follow them on social media. All right, let's get started and introduce the guest for today. On today's episode, we've got Braxton King with us. So, Braxton, welcome to my first episode. Appreciate you coming on here and being the first one. I'm excited to have you here. And why don't you go ahead and for all of our viewers here and everybody that's hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what do you drive?
So Braxton King, as you said, where I'm from is Pineville, Kentucky. Super small town, about 11 miles from Tennessee, and I drive a gold O2 Ram that I think at this point most people have saw or and know it's mine, or maybe have saw and had no clue.
Right on. Yeah, I've been seeing all the pictures you've been posting of it. I saw you shaved all the door handles and stuff on it. Yeah, I saw you
Yeah, I
got a
just
top
keep
50.
doing crazy stuff.
I saw you got a top 50 too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was at
Spark Show.
Spark Show. How was that? How was Spark Show?
Spark Show was great. It was actually pretty cool this year. Weather was great. The show was great. A lot of people there. It was nice.
Yeah, I wanted to go. I registered my truck for it this year too, and then right at the last minute, I ended up getting tickets to go see Slipknot. So, so I went all the way up to
Kids run down
Maryland
the stairs.
and yeah, I ended up going to Maryland instead to go see Slipknot. But I registered for Spark Show. I just didn't make it there, so I'll go next year. But everything I saw looked good. I just watched a YouTube video earlier somebody had posted for Sparks, and it looked like a lot of people, a lot of trucks.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Well, good deal. What else are you gonna do to Gold Rush this year?
Really, my plan is just to get the bodywork finished and get it painted. I'm done messing with it. Work on interior after that, and let it be.
Nice. You're gonna leave the outside all gold, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Repaint everything. All right. Cool. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun truck. I'm excited to see it. All right. So aside from that truck, what was the first truck you ever built?
My first truck, I had a 1990 Nissan Hardbody. It was nothing special at all. Very basic. 17-year-old kid wanting a bagged truck. It was it wasn't
Yeah.
nice, but it was a
How,
truck.
how many years ago was that? How old are you now?
35.
So that was a while ago.
It's been a few days. Yeah.
Yep. Right on. Yeah, I'm about to be 40 soon. Getting old. Oh man. My first truck was a Ranger, 93 Ranger. That was a long time ago. Long time. Had assassins on it. And a lot of speakers. Well, good deal. All right. Well, let's see. I mean, that's a lot of years right there. So how long have you been in, I'd say, just the mini truck scene or the full size truck scene or just truck scene in general?
I tried to do some math. It's somewhere between 18, 19 years, something like that. I was messing around with stuff before that, but as far as actually being in the scene, it's been about that long ago.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like I've always been into cars and trucks since I was probably 10 years old because my dad builds like old hot rods and stuff like that. And I always had trucks and cars growing up. But as far as like mini truck scene or the bagged like full truck size, like full size scene, only a few years because I've always bounced around from like JDM cars to lifted trucks to Harleys to now bag trucks. So I'm always doing something different because I get bored easy, so I'll move around. But all right, cool. What made you join the truck scene? Like
Um,
what did it for you?
Actually, my cousin has a truck, a S10, and I was probably 13, 14 years old, and he had it on air. It actually had it was running like 400 psi, and he was hopping it on air. It was insane, and that kind of sparked my interest. At that point, we're actually working on that truck. At this point, it's going to come back out quite a bit
Nice.
different soon.
Right on. Yeah, I like that. Dizzy says, "What's up? What's up, Dizzy?" See Colby in here too. I just saw him down at Southeastern Truck Nationals, and Vega's in here too. I used to work with him in the Coast Guard. Yeah, Colby, man, we went to Southeastern Truck Nationals a few weeks ago. That show was crazy. Like 1,700 trucks.
That's
It was
that's a lot.
it
That's
was it was insane.
I
It
hadn't
took
been to a show that big really. Other than Battle in Bama, it was roughly the same. It's a wild show.
Dude, I didn't know what I was walking into. It was my first time ever going to SETN, and I knew it was going to be a big show, but I didn't know it was like size of like LST. So like when I went in there were so many vendors and trucks. Like by 9 o'clock in the morning, there was probably already 1,000 trucks in there. It took me close to 3 hours just to walk the entire show, and I had to take breaks. So they had like it was so hot out, but they have like all these different buildings that have AC units in them, so you can walk for like 30 minutes, go sit in the air conditioning, go walk some more, and it took me all morning just to get around the show and like actually physically see every truck that was there. And I probably still missed some, but yeah, the final count was like close to 1,700 trucks. It was massive. So
Yeah,
I'll
that's
definitely,
insane. It's crazy. Like when so I was working like partially staff at Bama this year. Next year I'm on the staff officially, and so I didn't really get to see much of the show, which is a
yep.
downfall of that. But seeing the stuff come in, it's crazy the amount of vehicles that you see at shows like that.
Yeah. Glenn Brown. Yo, what's up, man? He says, tell Braxton, show us a nipple. Yeah, he said SETN was wild. Yep, yeah, Dizzy and the Hammered was there. They were only like two vendors down from me. They were chilling. They had the nice AC trailer though. I was sitting outside. It was it was hot. It was God, man, that was ridiculous. Next year I'm definitely rolling up different for sure. And it was hard because like to get my truck into the show, it's a hike to get from like that parking lot all the way up into the show. And my C10 was overheating. I had an issue with my thermostat on there. So I was having to kind of like limp it in to get it parked because we didn't have it running fully. So I would like drive every 300-400 feet. I'd shut it off for a second, let it cool back down, turn it back on, and roll it in. So like the truck barely made it in, but it got there, and then it went right back to Justin's shop to get fixed. So
At least
we
it's
have it all.
driving now.
Yeah, we have it all figured out now. Like it's it's badass, but like the cam and the stall in it is so crazy. Like the thing it just kicks. It's nuts. Like it turned heads driving that thing out of the show. So it was fun. So what's going on, bro? Good to see you. AC, we had we had fans. At least you guys had fans, man. I had nothing. Like I was over in the Square Body Nation booth, so I was just sitting outside all day, and I was hurting. It was pretty rough. a lot of Pedialyte that day. But all right, well, good. Let's talk about club stuff. Are you in a club?
I'm not in a club. I've been hanging around with a club, and probably quite a few people know, but I've been hanging around quite a bit with Negative Camber and just
All right,
working towards that logo. So
nice. Those guys show out big. Every show I've been to and NC's there, they're like 40, 50 deep, it looks like. So it's crazy. I got a couple of good buddies in NC. They've all been really nice guys that I've met at shows and stuff. Really nice rides, like top quality rides in that club for sure. So it's good.
yeah, that's one thing they push you to make something nice for sure. It's not a club that lacks on the nice rides.
Glenn says Negative Camber, those are the rich guys. Yeah. Trip, what's up, man? Yeah, no, I hang around a lot of the different clubs. Like I'm not in a club, I'm not prospecting for one or anything, but like all the like RA guys is who I'm usually parked with because those are the dudes that are building my truck. Like Justin and Lou's been helping with my truck and everything, so it's always been around those guys, and I'm usually with them at like mini nats and stuff. And then first time hanging with freaks actually was at mini nats. Trip gave me the invite down to their lodge down there, and I didn't know what I was walking into for their party, but that shit was wild. Like
They live up to their name.
dude, when I rolled up, I saw people duct taped to poles and they were getting hit with like cattle prod tasers and chugging sardines out of blenders and shit. Like I had no idea what was going on, but it was fun. I had a good time. It's definitely my kind of party. Like I know where I'm going. Hey, yeah, next year trip at Mini Nats, I'll be down there with you guys hanging out. I brought two of my buddies down there though that came from Virginia Beach with me, and they were like, "What the hell is wrong with these guys? They're crazy." And I was like, "I know." It was fun. I had a good time. I'm excited for mini nats again. I already got the cabin booked. I'm ready to roll. It's gonna be a good time. But, all right. So Negative Camber, how did you I guess find them? What sparked your interest with joining them?
Honestly, I was kind of club surfing, trying to find where I fit in, and they're just where I fit in.
That's it right there. That's what everybody always says. Get in where you fit in, and everybody fits in with different clubs, and all the clubs are super cool with each other and stuff though. And yeah, it's kind of just whatever fits your vibe, I guess. I don't know if I'll ever join one again or not. I haven't tried or even looked or anything. I just like hanging out with everybody, but well, good deal. All right. First truck show you ever attended. What was it?
The first actual show I can remember, I had to think really hard. Would have been, I think, Heritage in 2005. It was a few years ago.
Yep. There's still some shows that are going strong 20, 30 years too. Surprisingly. We got another one coming up that's been going for a long time, Scrape Fest.
Oh yeah.
You going?
I don't know. I'm trying. It's on my calendar tentatively.
We don't say the H word. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll be at Scrape Fest this year. I got a couple ones coming up. So I'm doing obviously Attitude Check this weekend. We got Dropped Out the following weekend. Got Scrape Fest coming up, Sumo Speed, OBX. I'll be rolling out to that one. And then C10 Playdate, C10 Dominion. I got a lot of C10 shows coming up. So I'll be C10 Revival, C10 Nationals in Nashville. So I'll be hitting those up heavy. It's going to be a packed next couple months, but it's going to be good. Aside from that, because I feel like there's 4 shows every weekend now. Like it's impossible to go to all of them. You end up having to skip a bunch of them, and you would be on the road every single weekend if you tried to hit all of them. But how many truck shows do you think you hit a year, and how many would you like to go to a year?
Somewhere around 10, 15 shows normally each year. I do I do buy registrations to shows that I know that I can't get to, in hopes that I can get there, and just to support the show no matter. But I wish I could afford to go to a show every weekend. Like that. That would be. That's a big boy goals.
It's expensive. Robbie says, "What up? What's up, Robbie? Will, what's up, man?" Yeah, so it is. And people don't understand that, especially in the economy now. Like, how expensive is it really to go to a show, and especially if it's a 10-hour hike and it's a 3-day or 2-day show. So you're looking 4 days in a hotel plus gas and travel. It can easily run you like $1,000 to hit some of these
Yeah.
shows, and to do that every single weekend, like in this economy, no way, no way. That's actually how I got started in like social media and like my apparel brand and hosting my own events and all that stuff. Was I saw how expensive it was to go to all these shows, how many shows there were, and so I thought, how the hell can I go to all these shows and not have to pay for them? So I was like, well, if I'm hosting a show, I can write it off because I'm going there to promote my show at all their shows. We'll get a booth or whatever. Obviously, apparel brand, I'm paying for it as out of a vendor account, like my business account. But then it sucks because you don't get to actually enjoy the show because you're slinging t-shirts all day and you don't even get to walk around the show. So that sucks. But the social media side of it, as far as like getting paid for Meta, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, you're able to write all that stuff off on taxes. So all the shows that I'm not a vendor at, I write all those shows off on taxes every year for filming with getting content. So it works out pretty good. Otherwise, I would not go to that many shows. There's no way. It's crazy. And all these shows too, like you got to pay for trailer parking. Registrations have been nuts this year. Like not so bad in the bagged scene, but on the lifted side of the house, some of these registrations are anywhere from $100 to $400
That's insane.
just to register. There's one show down in I won't even say what state it's in, and I won't name the name of it, but it's like $400 to get in their premiere lot, and it's a 1-day show. And people
sounds
go
like
to
they're
it.
doing well.
Yeah, and they have over 2,000 trucks that show up to this show. Like it's a good show. I'm not going to knock the show, and I'm definitely not going to name them. But yeah, it's that pricey, and people will go pay it. And I'm like, all right, good for y'all. Like I'm not going to do it. That's crazy for a 1-day show, but. And it's like I have family that lives down there, so I don't even have to pay for a hotel. And there's still no way I'm doing that. Absolutely not. We've definitely slowed down this year too. Yeah, Robbie, I think a lot of people have, honestly, like a lot of the people I know that usually do 20, 30 shows a year, they're slowing down and they're maybe only hitting one a year. I hit a lot of shows heavy last year. This year, I've been a lot slower because I've just been working a lot trying to get my C10 done. Next year, I'm going to slow it down even more than that. I'm probably going to do one show a month out of state or like out of like a 4-hour radius. And so I'm going to slim it down to one a month and I'll be a vendor at that show. Other than that, I'll probably hit like maybe one little local show a month if there's something going on in the Virginia Beach area, which there's nothing out here. There's no truck scene out here. So it's rare if there's even like a classic car show or something like that. But next year, I'm definitely slowing down for sure. I think 26 last year, 18 this year. That's still a lot, man. That's like you're kicking 2 to 3 a month right there. That's a lot. It went from 25 to maybe 2 to 3 this year. Yeah, I know a lot of people that did that. A lot of people I know like aren't really hitting shows this year, and they're just trying to get their trucks done. Which I mean, that's what I did. I've only done a handful of shows this year because I've just been working like crazy trying to pay to get this C10 finished up. But sometimes you got to do that. But it works. All right. So, what's your favorite show to attend each year? Like absolute favorite.
That's a very hard question. It's a hard question. I'm just gonna go with Dropped Out because it's coming up. I've been to Dropped Out every year. This is third year. It's a really good show. Perry does a great job with that show. It's close. It's a good show.
Yep. Okay. Good deal. I'm looking forward to Dropped Out this year. It's going to be my first time there. I've been chatting with Perry a bunch. Super cool guy. I'm excited for the show. If you guys aren't registered for it, make sure that you guys get registered for it. I think the registration is about to close or just closed.
It should be closed. I
should be
think.
closed. Okay.
I think yesterday he ran it for a little over actually. And if it's not closed, then you should probably hurry and check right now to make sure.
Yeah.
But
Do you know if you can register at the gate?
yeah, you can register day of.
Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, I'm excited for that show. It's gonna take me about 10 hours to get there, but I know a couple other vendors that are going there. I know Perry said that their pre-registrations this year went way past what they got last year. So I'm excited to go to it, whether it's a small show or big show. I'm excited. I was thankful for the opportunity to get invited out by Perry, and I'm looking forward to it. I love trying new shows, especially like ones that are kind of out of my comfort zone or just different vibes from the shows anyway. So I'm excited to try new shows like Attitude Check this weekend. I'm excited about that one. I've never done like a camping show before, so this will be my first one for Attitude Check. So I'm bringing my 24-foot enclosed trailer to haul all the Rolling Reckless stuff to set up as a vendor, and I outfitted that thing out as like a camper. So I've spent the last couple months putting like generators in there. I've got a stand-up shower. I've got like a little XL size cot to go in there. Got some lights in there, little table. So I'll be full on camping at Attitude Check, and it works pretty good actually. Like I've been just adding things to the trailer, and I was like, well, if it works good, any show that I can camp at, I'm just going to camp out like that because it saves a shitload of money on hotels for sure. Because
Yeah, for sure.
those are expensive now. Jesus, it's crazy. I ended up getting an Airbnb for dropped out though. I found some like couple that was renting a room out for like $50 a night. So I was like, book that for 2 nights. I'll take it. So it works out
That's a
pretty
good deal.
good.
My I got a motel room for one night for that show because we drive down. We'll drive down early Saturday morning and stay Saturday night, and my motel is probably more than your Airbnb for multiple nights and not just one night.
That's why I don't stay in hotels because hotels are like, I mean, you're gonna spend 150, $200 easy on a hotel a night. So I always look for Airbnbs, like even mini nats this year. Everybody gets these cabins and all stays in the hotels and stuff. There's a lady that I had met that rents out rooms in her house, literally across from the street from the show, and it's like $40 a night, $50 a night to stay there. She cooks breakfast in the mornings. You can walk to the show, and I think I spent $200 for that whole like 5 day period to stay there.
That's amazing.
It's legit. It's legit because you can park your trailers right down at the bottom, and your truck stays in the show. So it's just like a little bitty room with a bed in it and a TV, and that's it. And she makes you like some Southern style breakfast every morning, and then you can just stumble up and stumble down from the mountain. It takes about 8 minutes, I think, to walk all the way up and down. It's hard to walk up it drunk though, because it's like uphill. So like,
Yeah, those hills on the other side from the show are
yes,
they don't play.
yes, I had to walk up those every night, and I was like, after we got done cruising, I went out drinking. I was shit faced trying to walk up those hills, and one of the nights I was so tore up, I actually missed the Airbnb and walked all the way to the top of the mountain before I realized that I had passed my Airbnb, so I had to walk all the way back down it. I was hurt, like my legs the next day. I could barely walk. It was rough. Host hotel was 111. That's not terrible. Yeah, 111's like Robbie said, 111's not bad at all. That's definitely worth it. Shay, what's up? Working on a couple more mock-ups for shows. Yeah, Shay's killing it. She's been doing all the like merch for all the different shows. I know she's going to be at Attitude Check and she'll be at Dropped Out because I talked to her earlier. So yeah, excited about that. Be good. Better be careful, or she might want to serve you more. Yeah. No, she's old. She was cool though. She can cook too. God, like grits and eggs and shit in the morning. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. All right, so that was your favorite show. My favorite show, I I don't even know what I would say is my favorite show. Like I was gonna say Mini Nats was my favorite one, and I think I would still say that, but Southeastern Truck Nationals is gonna be a hard one to top. That show, there's no cruising and like partying and hanging out though, which sucked. Like the show was badass, but I like being able to like hang out and party with everybody, cruise around and like have a good time, which I think that's why Mini Nats honestly is my favorite show. And I don't even have a mini truck, but just the whole vibe of it, that's one that I'll never miss ever in my life, probably again, unless I'm like deployed or something like that. But if you could do, let's say bucket list show, one show that you've never been to, doesn't matter where in the country or where in the world it is, what's your top bucket list show?
Rolling the Red Rocks, I think, is probably a bucket list show, and I'm not even sure why but it is. It's
All right. I've heard a lot of people like talking about convoying out to that show and going out there. That's a hike too.
yeah.
That's a trip. So Mitchell, my favorite show down in the valley. Yep. Cody, what's up, man? What's going on? Yep, yeah, Showdown in the Valley. That's coming up in October. It's was it first weekend in October? Mitchell and all of them are running that. I won't be there this year because I'll be in Nashville for C10 Nationals, but I did go to Showdown in the Valley last year. Had a great time. There were some badass trucks out there, all lifted and lowered, cruising. So it definitely had like the Mini Nats Valley vibes to it. Everybody was chilling and having a good time, and it's just a mix of a lot of different vehicles. So it was pretty cool to see. I was a vendor at his show last year. I had a good time. Sucks that it's on the same date as C10 Nationals, but I've got to take the truck to C10 Nationals at least 1 year. So my bucket list show is Dino's.
I had that on my list. Actually, I put Rolling in Red Rocks and Dino's Get Down, but I didn't want to say two.
Yeah. See, all right. Glenn says he's doing a group drive out to Roland. That's cool. I'm still waiting on Glenn to give me the convoy date and year that we're all going to go out to Dino's. Still waiting, man. I'm going to go with you. Like, that's a far ass drive, but I want to do it. I thought about even just hopping on a plane and flying out there 1 year just to check it out, see how it was, and then come back the next year as like a vendor or something. And because all the vendors I talked to that go out there, they said it's insane. You cannot, they said that you can literally not do any other show the whole year and you can just go to Dino's and absolutely like crush it on merchandise sales. He said Glenn won't show up. 2054. Yep. Yeah, 2054. That's probably about right for Glenn. All right. Well, good deal. All right. Let's talk about the truck scene in general, because obviously we all love the truck scene and we're all in it for certain reasons. What's your favorite thing about the truck scene?
My favorite thing, I guess, would be the friendships that you make. There's a lot of people that you meet in the truck scene that you wouldn't imagine that you'd be friends with, and they would do anything for you at any point. And I think most everybody's that way. No matter, the club doesn't matter, the truck doesn't matter, none of that matters. The whole scene is that they'll about drop anything at any point to help out somebody else.
I agree with you on that, actually. And not every truck scene is like that. Like on the lifted side, yeah, there's friendships and stuff, but the amount of people willing to help other people is nothing like the mini truck scene. Like the stuff that I see on Facebook every show about people broken down on the side of the road, and then there's like 10 people that comment and say, "Hey, where are you at? We're on our way." And then there's 15 people pulled off the side of the road helping this dude because one person has this part and the next person has this part, and they either swap trailers or swap vehicles on trailer. They get them back on the road. Lifted scene, they don't do that. Like they'll drive right by you, honking train horns at you, and say "see you at the show." Mini truck scene, they look out for each other.
Mini trucking scene is probably, I've been around the cars and lifted trucks and stuff, and I think mini trucking is where it's at.
Yep. That's honestly one of the things that like made me really respect the mini trucking scene was how like tight everybody was together, regardless of the club and whether they're your best friend or not. Like everybody's willing to help each other and do what they need to do to get people to the shows, especially because a lot of these people drive to the shows. Like on the lifted side, a lot of these guys are trailering their trucks and stuff to the shows. Mini truckers, man, they drive and they drive far to some of these shows, and it's impressive to how they get these trucks to these shows. They pull them up and show them, and they look great. Like the trucks are badass, and they drive the shit out of them. It's awesome. Hopefully I get to put some miles on the C10. I'm gonna be scared to drive it like out of state to that many shows or whatever. So it'll probably get trailered most of the places, but I'm definitely gonna try and drive it as much as I can. It says Andrew Detmer, I really wanted to see that truck cruising with us. Yep. I'm ready for Robbie to bring his show back for Static Nationals. When are you going to do it, man? Hopefully it's next year. I was going to go this year, and then he canceled it out, said he's coming back next year. So looking forward to that one because I've never been to his show, so I'm excited for that. All right, so since we're talking about events, the real reason we're here is tell us what event you run. Give us the name, the dates, the location, your website for it, how people register for it, any of the charities or groups that you support with it, any sponsors for the show or vendors you had this year or next year, types of vehicles, and what your typical schedule of events looks like for that show. So plug away.
So Keenan at Kentucky Splash. title sponsors Mini Trucking Magazine. So this year it was our first year. We had a kind of small show and 100% chance of rain, and it didn't rain, so that part worked out. As far as next year, May 2nd and 3rd, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. So I'm not gonna start the show on Saturday until 11, and I'm gonna run it until about 8 o'clock, and do awards in the evening. Do kind of like an afternoon type show. I have there's camping at the water park, so
Nice.
I'm hoping that people start taking advantage of the camping more, and we can do a show and glow Saturday night. And I have a 24-foot projector screen, play maybe some old mini trucking footage, something movies. We'll figure something out to do with that. As far as vendors, Hammered Weekend Wear
Yep. They're
is
everywhere.
is probably one of the biggest vendors that we have and are gonna have at
Nice.
Kicking It.
And you guys
I've
have
been
a full
talking with
web.
a few
You guys have
people for next year.
and you guys
I
have
don't
a full
know.
web. You guys have a full website up and all that stuff that people can check out.
No, just have the Facebook page.
Facebook. Okay.
Just a Facebook page and on Instagram also.
Okay.
Um,
So how do people pre-register for the show, or is it just pay on site?
so I'll post a link on the Facebook and Instagram. I think I'm gonna start pre-registration in October,
Okay.
and
And
then
then
and we'll go from there.
okay. And then for vendor and sponsor applications, is that already open for next year, or what
It
dates are you
is,
going to open it?
yes. If anyone interested, they can just contact me, and I can send that over.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
it's ready.
what kind of vendors are you open to having? Can anybody sign up as a vendor, or does it have to be truck scene related only? How's that work?
Um, Truck and car scene. I'm not trying to be real specific on you have to have a mini truck to be at this show. If it's lifted, if it's JDM, Euro tuner, I don't care. Bring it out, and we'll probably have an award. I want to think we had 11 best ofs last year, and then I did top 25. It'll probably be something like that this year. But we had best car, best interior, best lifted, best mini. There's something for everyone.
Nice. Says, can custom scene vend for our OnlyFans? Of course. Of course. So with the camping, I like that you're doing that. You can camp on site at the show. Like,
Yes.
is it a big parking lot that everybody, like, the show's on, and then everybody can camp there as well, or is there like power and water hookups? Or
The water park actually has RV sites and primitive camping that are
nice,
there. So there's a bathhouse, so you can take showers if you do primitive camping.
that's awesome.
They're set up good. They're set up for camping.
Okay, cool. And how much is it for somebody to get a camp spot there from you?
I don't know for sure what it's going to be this year. I think they've raised their prices. Last year they kind of let me do my own thing with the camping, and this year I'm going to let them sell the spots just to kind of help out a little bit with them. So you'll just have to contact Kentucky Splash Water Park
Okay.
and go from there. I have no clue, honestly, what they charge.
Yeah, everybody's usually pretty reasonable for camping and stuff. I like
Yeah.
that you're changing it from the morning going more afternoon, evening, because that's always the most fun because it's not so hot out for one, even though May's not bad, but when the sun goes down and people can turn on all the lights and stuff on their trucks and hang out and have a good time, that's always the most fun at a show anyways. I hate going to shows that close at like 5 p.m. and then you got to go find the after party, or if they're cool enough and you can cruise, but being able to hang out on site and see everybody's rides at night, because so many trucks have lights and all kinds of crazy displays at night anyways, and a projector like with a big screen, that's pretty badass, especially if you can play like some old school truck scene footage,
Yeah.
or as your show grows, being able to show all the previous years and like some really cool memories just with all your friends and stuff that show up at that show. I think that'll be a big hit. That'll be fun. That'll be good. Is there any cruising or anything at the show, or it's all static, just park and
We
chill?
actually do. We have a cruising loop that the mayor actually set up for us. He said he wants to see us cruise. So
Okay.
we have a cruising loop. We didn't really get to do it last year. As soon as the awards closed, everybody kind of dispersed, and it started pouring the rain. It held
Yeah.
out for the day, and the evening it was drowned. So
Nice. Okay.
hopefully next
That
year is
sucks.
better. And we can use that cruising loop because it's a pretty good thing. We can maybe get some dragon shots and stuff too. We've got kind of permission. He said if it happens, it happens, kind of thing. So
Yeah, it's as long as like everybody's not doing it, they probably aren't going to say anything. But
yeah,
is it similar to like Maggie Valley? Like you can cruise, you can have your lights on, you can bump music as long as you're respectful and not doing anything
absolutely,
stupid.
yes,
Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that. Then that'll be a good time. That's gonna be a far drive for me to get out there, but I'm gonna make it. Kentucky is no joke. Hopefully, I get stationed closer to Kentucky. Actually, if I'll find out in March. So like, I'm in the military. Like I've been in 21 years so far. So I'm about to do my final transfer next summer for 3 years, and then that'll get me to 24 years, and I'll give my retirement letter and be done. But I just put in my pick list for next summer's move. So I put in a bunch of different spots on there. I've got Charleston, South Carolina on there, Wilmington, North Carolina. I've got Millington, Tennessee on there. Savannah, Georgia's on there. I've got Louisville, Kentucky is on there. I've got Atlantic Beach, Florida on there. I've got Virginia Beach here to stay local. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to probably end up in one of those spots. So we'll see. I really hope I end up in Charleston, honestly, because that puts me like very close to every single show.
yeah,
That'd be like the best location for me because that's kind of what I planned it off of was I want to be within like 6 to 8 hours of like every major show that I can just cruise around to. They had a lot of spots open in Texas, but I knew if I go back to Texas, I'll only hit Texas shows just like I was before. And I never will make it to any East Coast shows, which sucks. Because
yeah.
I spent
Six
3
to eight
years.
hours in Texas is still Texas.
It says transfer to Utah, so we have a place to stay for rolling. Yeah, I looked up like some West Coast like openings and stuff. Obviously, we don't have anything in Utah. I could have gone back to California because like I spent almost 8 years in California early on in my 20s, like Southern Cali and Northern Cali. But I don't want to go live in California. Like that place is crazy right now, anyways. And I would never see anybody on the East Coast. But they had they did have some like Gulf Coast picks too, like New Orleans and some places down in like Mobile, Alabama and stuff, but that's also far from everything I want to do. Tennessee is like I feel like I'm always in Tennessee for shows. That's like the central hub for every big show. Everything is within 6 to 8 hours from Tennessee, basically. So I'm trying to stay as close there as I can. Louisville, if you don't say it right, you can't park there. Yeah, for real. Dizzy says you could have more than one wife in Utah. Yeah, for real. No, I would like to go to Rolling in the Red Rocks though. So if you guys do convoy out for that, let me know. Give me like at least a 2 month heads up notice so I can request off work and I'll make that trip with you guys or Dino's, one of the two. I need to get out to one of those shows, but that's pretty much that's all the questions I got from you. Again, what's the website and everything for Kicking It at KY, Instagram, shout all that stuff out so people can keep up with the show and follow everything on there.
Yeah, the only thing is it's Kicking It at Kentucky Splash. I may say presented by Me and Trucking Magazine. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I just click the button and it goes there, and I look at what people have done. So
That's it. Yep. And then obviously, like if you guys follow my pages, I post shows and crap all the time, anyways. So I'll be posting Braxton's show up a ton as we get closer to it, and as the Facebook event and everything is done and ready to roll. I'll be putting all that stuff up as we get through the shows. But yeah, before we hop off here, Braxton, thank you for coming on, man. Definitely honored to have you on here, especially this is the first episode for it. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, if it was going to be an absolute shit show on here and nothing would work at all, or if it would work. I got the idea from Lay and Frames podcast that they invited me on, and I saw how they did it, and I was like, man, okay, StreamYard, that looks pretty simple. So I looked it up while I was at work on YouTube, and I was like, that's pretty damn easy, and you can stream to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube all at the same time. And I never do live videos, so I figured since I put so many people on my pages anyways, and that's what my pages are for, is to show all of you guys and show your rides and all of your events and use it for that purpose. I figured why the hell not? We'll go live. we'll bring somebody on every week or 2 weeks or whatever, let them plug their shows or their brand or their shops or builds or whatever, and then get some live stuff on here. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know who we're going to put on here next, but we'll keep going. If you guys are in the comments or watching and you guys are interested in being a guest on here, please hit me up and let me know. I'll get you guys on for a little 30-minute chit chat session. But on that note, you got anything final to add, Braxton?
Just thanks for having me on here, and maybe get a mic. Maybe
Yeah,
get a mic, man.
I will. I'll get some headphones and a mic. I need more of you guys to follow and subscribe to my YouTube and stuff so I can get that thing monetized, and then I can pay for some equipment because I'm not going to pay for it myself out of pocket because I'm cheap. But I will. I'll look into that. But that's a wrap on this episode. We'll call it a Truck Scene Podcast. Again, huge thank you to Braxton for sharing your insights and stories and everything with us today. I hope everybody that did watch this enjoyed it as much as we did. And yeah, like I said, if you guys like what you heard and all that, remember to please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I am trying to grow that. Follow my pages, follow Braxton's pages, and we'll give you guys latest updates and behind the scenes content on shows, what we have going on in all of our personal builds and shows. And I'm always excited to connect with fellow truck enthusiasts. I don't care what you drive, whether it's a $5,000 truck or a $200,000 truck, it makes no difference to me. I like seeing all the types of builds, especially if you built it yourself and you've got a cool story behind it. So don't be shy. Drop me some comments or a message. Let's get you guys on here. And on that note, we'll see you guys on the next one. Braxton, thanks for coming on.